Oh, great, you're already here. Today we're going to do a quick tour of my 2015 Norstar Liberty Short truck camper. Okay, so here we have a wet bath, which is also with the Thetford cassette toilet, which is a pretty cool item, and I'm going to do a whole video on that to explain more about it. And if you look down below it, you'll see it's almost like a false bottom, and that's for when you're using the restroom, and I will show you when you're going to shower what you do with that false bottom. Up at the top, I have a pretty good size storage that I use, and that stays, believe it or not, kind of dry when I'm showering, and a skylight at the top. So this is a perfect little wet bath for a small camper, and it works out really great. Okay, so opposite of the bathroom, what we have is a Dometic three-way fridge. And three-way means it runs on propane, it runs on electric, and it runs on battery. Battery is pretty inefficient. The propane is what I run it on most of the time, even when I'm driving, and I find that it runs really well on the propane. I don't use a lot of propane, and it runs perfectly while I'm driving down the road. Let's take a look inside. So here's the inside of the refrigerator. This is where the freezer was that I removed, and it makes for a pretty good size. Down at the bottom of the fridge, I have a nice little vegetable crisper, and you can see on the door, I have a good amount of shelving that I can rearrange in a little container here. So I think this fridge is perfect for this truck camper. Okay, so these are one of my favorite options in the Norstar campers. This is a Dometic double pane argon gas filled camper window, which is super cool because it's super warm. And I love the way these things work. So here you see the window in the open position. If I want to close the window, I just drop it down like that. And it has some varying positions depending on how much you want to have it open. But this is awesome. Check this out. Here's the screen I just simply pull down, or at night when the window is closed and I want to have complete blackout boondocking stealth conditions, here's the blind. And let me tell you, this is total blackness. I can have all the LED lights on in here and you can't see a thing when I close up these windows. I love these. Okay, so now let's take a look at the dinette and the seating area in this tiny little camper. I love this table. It's called a Lagoon, and if I'm saying it wrong, feel free to let me know what the correct pronunciation is. It moves in all kinds of positions here, and I'm going to show you a few different ones. But when I need some walking space, I have the table out of the way, and when I want to use the table, say on my laptop, or I just want to have a meal, then a couple of people can just slide in like this, and I have a pretty good sized table to eat with. Okay, so here's another way that you can use the dinette that I just love. See this cushion here? Well, this goes right down here on the step up to the sleeping area like this. Another reason I love the Lagoon table. Say you're going to play Scrabble or maybe a game of cards and you don't want to cheat. I just slide this over here. I have someone else sit over here and I can use it more like a booth style dinette. I really love this table. Okay, so these are the cabinets that are above the dinette area. Let's take a look inside. These are filled up with pots and pans and things like that. I'm pretty much packed for the road anytime. I like the way it latches, and there's two of these above the dinette. I think it makes for great storage. Okay, so sometimes in these videos, it's hard to get a good idea of the real width and length and kind of the proportions when you're just doing a video of the size of this truck camper. So in this case, let's look down to the floor and give you an idea of some measurements. From the entry door all the way across the laminate wood floor, including this little step, is about 6 feet 7 inches approximately. Fits in the bed of my pickup truck. And if you go width-wise on the floor, you have about 3.5 feet. But as you can see, there's some things that sort of intrude on that, like the bathroom or like the dinette seating area. So really there's about a 2.5 foot wide space of clearance here. So you can see that this is a little space. So now let's take a look at the kitchen area and some of the cabinet storage. This is the sink. This is my cool little spigot, and what I like about it is it comes out and it's also a sprayer. Again, a really good Norstar idea in a small little camper. I have a paper towel holder up here, and this is some overhead pantry I usually have food storage in when I'm traveling. I love these little latches. So this is empty now, but that's where I might keep my canned goods or things like that when I'm on the road. The microwave also comes in quite handy, mostly for heating, and like a lot of RVers, I store my bread in there. So I like having the microwave. Down here, I've got a 2-burner stove, which doubles as counter space when it's not in use. So I wasn't sure how I was going to like this particular setup, but you know what? It's perfect because I can put a cutting board here and it gives me more space. Down here's just some drawers, examples of, you know, storage area. These buttons here, that's for my hot water tank, and the one to the left of it here is for my water pump. And one more cabinet example. This again is empty because this is all winterized, but this would be another sort of closet storage area for clothes, or you can see I have my electric heater in there and things like that. Okay, so let's check out a couple of amenities. You might see this thing right here above me. That's an air conditioner. And yep, that's an option that I wanted. Number 2, we have a TV up here in the sleeping area. And it does have a swing around arm so that if you're watching the news or seeing a sports game, you could sit on the couch and watch it from there too. Here you're going to see a little bit of a spice rack, and then below it is a door that makes me think that Northstar has a great ability to use every little nook and cranny in a small camper. Let's open it and see what's inside. They managed to find a little spot for storage that just falls kind of up against the cab over side cabinet storage, and I keep my paper goods and things in there, and I just love that they thought of it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the cab over area. As you can see, it's pretty roomy up there. It's actually a little over 7 feet long, and it's actually just about 7 feet wide. And you might recognize the fabric on my pillow covers because my sister made me them for Christmas from my leftover curtains of my Topper travels. I thought that was really cool. I love the moose and the bears. If you pan to the left, you're going to see that there's kind of some storage and shelving area, and it looks similar on the opposite side. So let's go up there and take a closer look at what's available for storage. Okay, so these 2 little locker style cabinets, there's one on each side of the cab over, and they allow for some pretty good storage because the camera can't see, but it goes all the way down that way and all the way up the other end. I find this to be pretty adequate for all my clothing needs on a big trip. Okay, so here's some more storage up in the cab over. This particular cabinet is on the passenger side of the cab over. It's a good size and it has a lot of storage in there. I added those shelves to make it a little easier to organize. Okay, so check this out. We're underneath the dinette and there's one of these doors on either side of the camper. Know where they go? Well, when it's off the truck, they go outside. When it's on the truck, I can put all kinds of things down there, like dirty laundry, or maybe store some water bottles down there, all kinds of things. This is sort of an old school thing that people tell me they used to do in the old campers. I've known some people to put screens on both of these to allow for cross ventilation and open them when they're off the truck and in a campground. I just think this is another really cool thing. We call it the rabbit hole. So, here's the window in the open position, and if you want to put the screen up, you just lift this up, and I'm pretty sure based on the darkness, that's not the screen. Nope. Cut. You guys, the video is totally over. You gotta go. I got things to do. I mean it. So long from K&J Adventures.